Mm. I'll be right back. Pretty sleepy and I haven't had my breakfast. So why am I drinking? 2:30 in the afternoon? I don't fucking know. As someone who's actually responsible. Whew. That is nice. Sukuban Games. Glitch City, 2076 AD. City that shouldn't exist. The tax haven where corporations and criminal empires reign supreme. In this place, all human life has been infected with nanomachines to keep them in check. Over them stand the White Knights who ensure that a corrupt government's laws remain obeyed. Here, brutality in all its forms is an everyday reality. Quality of life for the non-powerful decreases at an alarming rate. For many, this can be overwhelming. Some devote themselves to their jobs, their families, or even their studies. Some look for ways to escape this place, and others just give up. But for many of them, the answer lies at the bottom of a glass. On a small road just seconds away from the main street, somewhere near the slums, you can find the hallway of the BTC-certified bar coded VA11. But that's a mouthful, so we just call it Valhalla. Small oasis in the middle of a concrete desert. Fountain of spirits waiting for tired souls. And it's here where the story unfolds. I wonder if I left food for 4. Okay, I'm here. Dorothy? You won't get through the bar anytime soon. You can stop walking. Hi, honey. You want something? The usual, I guess. Usual. This is nice. Nice. Okay, you're freaking me out. What's up with you? Hey, honey, how do you know what's real? What the fuck? How so? I mean, how do you know what you see is an actual thing? How can you tell if what you see around you is actually happening? What tells you everything is not actually a fabrication? What tells me I'm not just a simulation in a computer? And this Pondrix brought you to the bar? What? Oh, I'm in the bar, am I? Dorothy, so you're having a solipsistic crisis of sorts? Solipsism, the theory that self is the only thing that can be known to exist. See, that's another thing right there, that word. Solipsism. What does it even mean? Where the hell did it come from? Well, solis means alone and ipsa means self. Yes, but how did it come to be? Do you expect me to believe that a lot of people just randomly decided to make up noises and decide, hey, let's make this noise mean this? It doesn't make sense. Words don't make sense. I've been repeating words for a long time and they stopped making sense. Why? Calm down. That's just semantic satiation. Stop making up words, honey. And then there's this counter. I'm gonna be sure this counter's really here. It is. Please stop tapping it. Stop tapping the counter so much. I'm this close to throwing this at your face. Sorry. So let's start from the beginning. Since when did you have this existential crisis? Since earlier today, I think. I was remembering the good times I had with my guardian. But I don't know. It was all too sudden. I was thinking about everything that happened from a week ago until now. How much fun I was having and how much I loved everyone around me. And out of nowhere, the thoughts started piling up in my mind. What is love? What is fun? Are those feelings real? Is all of that real? Am I real? What tells me I'm actually in a body? What if I'm just some computer somewhere thinking it has a body? What if I'm just a human girl in a comatose dream? What tells me that you're real? For all I know, I might just be a figment of someone's imagination. Or even just an AI simulation in some computer that thinks it's a human. I've been there, Dorothy. Existential doubt and crisis. Uncertainty about whether or not things are real. It was only a couple of months, but I remember having panic attacks and scratching my arm to feel something. But the panic attack gave me a rush of adrenaline, so I couldn't feel the scratch, and the fear got worse. What did you do to get over it? Oddly enough, I read a book, The Last Rain in the World, one of my favorites. At one point I cried with the book and I realized I was crying over fake things, the story and its characters. I didn't care less for them because they were fake. Why not think of a reality like that too? Even if I'm a figment of someone's imagination, I'd still care about you. That's what I told myself at least. It wasn't immediate, but that focus helped me. I like it. Can I take this drink? I made it for you. Why did you throw it on your head? To fuel something you made. It burns and itches a bit. Delivery for Dana Zane. Mr. Mario, welcome back. I have a delivery for Dana Zane. Who's that? She's my boss. I'll get it for her. Sign here, please. It's a big package. I wonder what's inside. You should open it. If it's something perishable, maybe it will need to be refrigerated. It's a wiener. A really big wiener. Hey, honey, that big package had a big wiener inside. What will your boss do with such a thing? I don't know how she'll cook it. Perhaps she'll chop it. Seems the wiener is too big to eat correctly. Maybe you could prepare some right now. What do you say, honey? Do you want some of your boss's wiener? Seriously, Jill. She's the one making the jokes. You're the one trying not to laugh too hard at them. Anyway, we all know if we dare cook this without her permission, she'll hang us upside down. She'll hang me upside down. Hey, Jacket Boy, what's your name? I'm Mario. Come on, Mario, I'll buy you a drink. You might have another delivery, you know. This is the last one, actually. I'll accept your offer. We'll have a sunshine cloud. Sunshine cloud for Mr. Mario. God. Fingers are a little tense. This is what I get for fingertip gripping. On the rocks and blended. Thank you. Call me Dorothy. You can also call me Darling for the right amount. Yeah, Dorothy, why did you buy me a drink? Just to let you know, I don't swing that way. What way, Lilum? I'm a man's man. I like men, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with liking women, but... Oh, don't worry. I wasn't hitting on you. I was thanking you. Your package let me see Honey here laughing like an idiot. It's easier than you think. It made me happy, and I don't know, it fit with what she was telling me earlier. I'm more calm than when I entered. Glad to help, I guess. The duty calls. Bye, Mario. Bye, John. Bye, honey. Enjoy your big wiener. Out with you. She seems like a nice girl. I don't mean for it to sound like I get it. Don't worry. You like guys. It's clear. Speaking of, you like motorcycles, don't you? Have you ever been to the Motor District? Spent all my free time in the Motor District, actually. Why? Is it true what they say about all the illegal races going on there? You're not a cop, are you? As far as I can remember now. Well, I mean, there are illegal races, but there's also a semi-legal league going on there. The authorities acknowledge that there's races going on. They don't know what goes on in them, however. Modified engines, casualties, substance abuse. The illegal ones end up being safer in the end. Have you heard about a biker called Christine Love? Ms. Love, of course, everyone knows who she is. What about her? Is her gang as dangerous as they say? I don't know, nobody knows. It looks intimidating enough, but the truth is that nobody has faced them directly. Moreover, nobody wants to be the one that gets beaten to a pulp if they turn out to be what they seem. So her gang is just there, menacingly doing their own thing, not bothering anyone. You want anything else? Oh, the piano man. He really wants a piano woman. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's wrong, but I like this one better. This will sound weird, but do you believe in replibots? There's a belief that some Lilum out there are designed to perfectly replicate a particular human. That someone or something replaces this human with such Lilum. Synths! It's synths! You know a lot about this. I don't. It's in most magazines nowadays. Well, it's the first time I've heard of it. What about it? On my way here, I almost ran over my neighbor. He just showed up in the middle of the street. And I say almost because he moved really quickly out of the way. Then I went to deliver a package and somehow my neighbor was there, almost immediately after the whole thing. And he was there the whole time. Maybe it was someone who looked like him? He had the same looks, clothes, and mannerisms. Trust me, you know a perfect replica when you see one. When you saw the kid Lilum here, they could easily pass off as humans. There are even Lilum idol singers nowadays whose voices can pass off as human. They can be passing off as humans right under our own noses, replacing us little by little. At this point in time, I really doubt it. Lilum behavior is a bit different. You can easily tell someone's a Lilum because they don't care about risk and danger as much as we do. They treat risks with a lot more leniency. Still be careful. Keep an eye out for uncanny doppelgangers. I'm leaving, thanks for everything. Please come again. What's your take on the Replibot thing? Do you believe in them? Not really, but I asked you first. When I was in high school, I had this irrational fear of aliens. Remember, I lost lots of sleep because of it. Let me finish. After many months of fear, I reached a conclusion that may as well apply here. It's useless to be afraid. I'm but a simple woman, and I wouldn't be able to do shit against them, so I'd rather live without being afraid. Because the memories of not being afraid would be my only solace when the nebulae crabs invade. Or I mean, when the Replibots come. Jill, are you still afraid of aliens? What part of it's useless to be afraid didn't you catch? Did anything happen? I discovered I have the sense of humor of an 8-year-old. Did anything new happen? They brought you a package. Oh yes, my curated wiener. It's a gift from my folks. It was delayed in customs, but here it is. You guys want some? That's a new one. Have some pocket money. I'm out of excuses. I love you, Dana Zane. Yeah, I got 2 days. Whatever. You've been chuckling since yesterday? Wiener. Oh, Jillian. Julianne. Oh, wait, no. Wrong one. Wrong one. Good evening. Ah, Jill, I'm about to get firecrackers. Firecrackers? It's New Year's, right? We need some. Won't firecrackers scare off the dogs? Yeah, good idea. Go ahead. I'll be back in a bit. Even for a cat lover, you sure get excited about firecrackers a whole lot more when dogs are involved. I know how hypocritical it sounds, and I don't care. Ah, Jamie's here. Greetings. Anyway, let's start. Time to mix drinks and change lives. Ah, the guy that wouldn't come back twice. Yeah, shut up. By any chance, did something fly over here 2 weeks ago? On Friday? Yes. There were a lot of weird explosion noises throughout the night, but as far as I understand, they were made by a flying drone or something like that. So I take it you know what made the noise? Let's just keep it at whatever drone story you heard. The noise got annoying after a while, I must say. So it remained in the vicinity? I don't know what counts as in the vicinity, but yeah. Distant explosions all night. Interesting, so I didn't get far away. Now get me a Mars blast. All blended. Here you go. Well, you didn't mess up. I'm sorry, if I can interject. You looking for a fight? Most certainly not. You really think you'd stand a chance? You're like half the size. I can fight dirty. He kills people for a living. I can fight dirty. Chill, please. You make me sound like a savage. It would be like me saying you get people drunk for a living. It's not wrong, but there are better ways of saying stuff like that. You're right, I'm sorry. And like I said, I'm not looking for a fight. I just noticed you seem to like strong drinks. Well, to be honest, it's a rare sight in this bar. I'd even come to believe I'm the only one here who enjoys them, aside from the owner. May I suggest you try a suplex next time? It might be to your liking. Okay, let's try this suplex thing. Man, Ingram reminds me of Jareth. Good stuff. Look like a less burning but punchier pile driver. So your face looks somehow familiar, mister. Call me Jamie, and you are? I'm Ingram. Anyway, I think I saw your face somewhere. Maybe you wanted to look for a specific file did you perhaps go through a nanomachine expunge? I did, actually. Figured as much. Only a handful of people do that. Almost all of them are people with nanomachine rejection that feel oddly suicidal. So I go through the whole thing. Rejection? Need to hide something? The second one. It's easy to remain undetected when they have no means to track you or your activity. How does the expunge work? You lie in a pressure chamber and they give you a special IV solution. It causes nanomachine rejection, will give you the antibodies needed to prevent them from getting back in. For 5 hours you're trapped in bed while horrible pressure builds up in your body and nanomachines are forced out. They're like little needles all over your body. You feel them in your eyes and your gums and your toes, everywhere. And after that they need to implant you with a mechanism that constantly releases the same antibodies. What are you having, Jamie? This is a gut punch. Yeah, I should have figured. Hey, give me one of those. Yeah, I love these. It looks different from yours, though. I had a couple of extras in his, actually. So where's the antibody unit that I struck you with, Jamie? Inside, like all other maintenance systems. It can be troublesome at times, but the perks of not having nanomachines in the body outweigh the cons. And the rest of the enhancements, were you reconstructed, or have you been adding them over time? Over time, either by getting a much-needed enhancement or through fixing injuries. Well, it was a pleasure, Jamie, but I gotta leave. Nice meeting you, Ingram. Don't count on it. You said that twice. Shut up. You seem like a nice guy. Right. I wouldn't call him a bastard, but he's not the nicest in the bunch. Maybe you caught him on a bad day. Nah, I think you're just that good at bringing out the nicer side of people. Oddly enough. That guy tires the hell out of me. Someone's in a good mood. Give me a bad touch, will you? That way you'll be in a good mood, too. You and me, baby, we ain't nothing but mammals. On the rocks and mixed. Jill, you have such a petty sense of humor. Guilty as charged, so what put you in a good mood? Oh yeah, that. Today my sister was supposed to be in court for all the custody proceedings. Of course, not only did she show up later than her husband and drunk at that, but also dressed like she got fucked in the back of a parking lot. And to top it off, she forgot to even bring her kids. Luckily, my parents brought them to court. The judge assigned the kids to my parents for the time being. So she really messed it up, huh? When they came back to the house and Diana started throwing a temper tantrum, she said it was lucky her husband didn't get the kids, because the angst would make her jump onto the highway. So Eva comes and says, and make sure it kills you because we aren't dealing with you as a cripple. I shouldn't reinforce that behavior, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't timing, but I've been laughing for an hour now. You hold quite the animosity for Diana, don't you? She and I used to be the closest friends when I was 7 or 8. We played all the time, we even slept on the same bed for a while. Then she turned into a teenager. She stopped playing, she had other things she wanted to do. I could forgive all that, I mean, the age difference and all. But there's still something in particular I still can't forgive. It was the day she invited her friends to the house and I went to ask her something. As I was leaving, one of her friends asked if I was her sister, and she said she had no little sisters. I think that was the moment that finally broke the pedestal I held her on. I admired her as much as a kid could admire someone, you know. Little by little, that admiration wore off until we finally reached that breaking point. I felt betrayed. You haven't been able to forgive her after 40 years. It's not that I still hold a grudge against her, but rather, the Diana who said all those things so many years ago is the same Diana that I know today. She hasn't matured one bit. You saw as selfish, childish, and immature as she was back then. When you see her, you don't see an adult, you see an overgrown, horny teen. So aside from destroying any admiration I held for her, she's made sure not to fix that impression. But enough about me. How are you? Everything's fine aside from this note. Remember I told you I lashed out at my dead ex's sister? Yeah. I got this note from her. Wow, she must really feel bad about the whole thing. As do I. So what's the problem then? The same fear that drove me away from her in the first place. Give me a brandini, will you? There's a little story I want to tell you. Nah, Mr. Bronson Extract, you ain't getting in here today. This is the thing. Let's start. Boo! Oh, hell no. This is a story of a girl who grew disillusioned with one of her sisters. Soon it became animosity, and not long after that, she distanced herself completely from said sister. With time, that girl would become attached to her eldest sister, looking up to her achievements. All I can look at right now are those boobs. Said sister would even marry the girl's best friend not soon after. After the girl went into college, that sister would quit her job. That sister was worried sick about leaving her baby kid alone, prompting her to quit her high-ranking job. What if I hire your high-ranking lips? The girl, even as an adult, felt betrayed. Her role model sister went against everything she held her in high esteem for. She was no longer a child, and yet she felt like a part of her had crumbled. Hey Joe, I can lift your sweater. Do you want to see? I bet you want to see. I know the girl is you and the sister is your oldest sister. Please get to the point. The point is if you don't face her, she will be heavily disappointed. She's trying to make amends with you. That must take courage. Lots of it. My mouth's dry. Can I get a beer? So tell me, did you and this Gabby girl get along? I never had brothers and sisters, but once Lenore introduced me to her as her sister-in-law, she got so excited about having a new sister that she clung to me a lot. I helped her in her studies, read books with her, and I played with her a lot. She was pretty much my sister too. I have to leave, but I'll tell you this. As both a big and a little sister, if you don't grant that girl the chance of talking to you, I'll never forgive you. There's a small New Year's party this Saturday if you're interested. Remember, I won't forgive you. I'll go take my break. Oh, you were here? You're quite absorbed in that conversation just now. Jamie even said goodbye to you, didn't you hear? Anyways, call me if anything comes up. It is now safe to keep playing. It's a little less chilly today. Jill, a kid's looking for you. Oh shit. Hey. Ah, Norma. You're back. Oh, fuck you. You know I'm not giving you any drinks, right? Yeah, actually, I wanted to thank you. Well, for starters, by not complying and giving me alcohol. Everything else would have fallen apart if I had some. I kind of faced my mom and told her about all the pressure she put on me, and said I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. And, well, she didn't speak to me for 2 days. After that, she told me it'd be a waste to spend money in a university just for me to not give it my all. So she told me to still go to the college course, that I was free to explore. If I just rushed headfirst in my original plan, things would have gotten ugly. And you were right, I would be hurting her for the sake of hurting. So thank you. Don't worry about it. I'll leave before it's too late outside. Be careful. Hey Joel, mind helping me here? Make me a bleeding Jane, please. All blended. Oh. Right, blended. They don't really explain it. Hey Joe, do you hate me? It's not against you directly, but rather the fact that only I can see you. Like I told you, if they wanted, they could see me. And why can I? You're the main character? I don't know. What are you? Cute girl! You okay, Joel? Making a lot of faces there. Yeah, I'm just remembering stuff. Would you give me a hand here and serve me a beer, please? Would you lighten up if I showed you I can interact with the environment? Maybe it'll spook me, but let's try. You sure? Yep. Nobody expects the Dorothy Inquisition. Dorothy Inquisition. Dorothy Inquisition. Dorothy Inquisition. I bit my tongue. Can't believe I'm using the spare tongue so early in the night. Honey. Hey, Dorothy. I'm making a quick stop for a drink. Can I get a fluffy dream? Fluffy dream for the Dorothy on the go. Oh yeah, before you leave? Oh, are you guys throwing a New Year's party too? Sure, I'll be here then. Well, I've got things to do, so... Who does what? Sorry, I sneezed. Weird sneezes. I'm out. Oh yeah, Joe, take care of Becky, please. Okay, fuck that noise. Fireworks are sold out everywhere. I'll need to get them through more shady means. She's gonna buy them from the internet. She'll find them and put us all at risk of burning. She's a robot, dude. I'll make sure there's an extra extinguisher at hand. Well, I guess that's it for today. You sure you're fine? I am, don't worry. Hey Joe, mind if I ask you a silly question? You've seen my clients. You can assume I don't mind silly questions. Silly answers can get on my nerves, though. Sorry, what did you want to ask? Do you know why they call them cat boomers? I mean, I guess their second set of ears look like a cat's, but the word boomer seems so out of place. Not so much when you consider it's not them, but their parents who were called such. I mean, I like how you call it a sex job. I'm sorry. It's partially that the human body is intended to regulate itself and take care of itself, and machines kind of consistently need part replacements, small repairs, all of that. Removability is just for accessibility and, you know, maintenance. Imagine if, like, your tongue could break way easier than it could, and your body didn't repair itself, and there were no goddamn spares. Fuck, you're just stuck with figuring out how to fix what you got or not using it. Let's go a bit back first. You know why cat boomers look like that, right? Because they went through some anti-nanomachine rejection treatment while they were still a fetus, right? It's called the Yamazaki-Romanova treatment. Or was it the Romaneko-Yamada treatment? Let's call it the catification procedure. It was not only the first successful genetic treatment on a fetus, but also the first way to fight nanomachine rejection. Moreover, that research has a bit of a rocky story. Funding got cut in the middle of it at a critical point that could make or break the whole thing. Not to mention Zaibatsu Corp's record of not addressing nanomachine rejection at all. The rest of the research was funded by Maki Stengovich. Holy shit, I just realized that you are not familiar with the concept of throat fucking if you are not aware of how that tongue would need to be replaced in a mechanical unit. Oh my god. Go Google throat fucking and don't tell anyone that I told you to do that. Was it Stengovich? Let's call him Stengovich for now. He's a businessman whose unborn daughter got diagnosed with early nanomachine rejection. Stengovich funded the research, and in a desperate move, his wife offered herself and her daughter as test subjects. I'm not Googling throat fucking. Hold on. I need to... I'm just gonna post this in a Gen chat. Of course the experiment was a success. The girl, Sylvia Stengovich, didn't die. She became the living testament of a scientific breakthrough. But then the story of how things played out for Sylvia got sensationalized in the media and created a weird fad. Parents made their unborn children go through the catification procedure, even if they had no ailments at all. All because one particular girl whose life got saved through that treatment became a media darling for a bit. And their parents got called cat boomers. Generation of parents obsessed with these cat-like features. The fad quickly passed, but the term remained in use. Eventually, cat boomers started being used for people with protrusions instead of their parents. You keep calling them protrusions. Why is that? Because that's what they are. You didn't think those things in their heads were ears, did you? Sure, they can move because they're somehow connected to the facial and ear muscles. Thus, they can move like a cat's and react to their mood. But in the end, they're just appendages with no real function. It still surprises me a bit that the biggest mutation to get after the treatment is just that. Those ears are just a small miracle on their own. People have been born with no eyes for less intrusive procedures. You really thought they were functional ears, huh? Let's say I learned quite a bit today, thank you. Don't worry, I feel like I should apologize for talking so much instead. Keep in mind I'm fucking up the terms. I don't want you saying someone got protrusions because of a catification procedure. Keep it in mind. Yeah, the guy's name was Stengovich. I just remembered Sylvia Stengovich was around my age, and when I was a teen there was TV specials featuring her. And I just remembered that I had the biggest crush on her. Now that I think about it, that crush had me very confused back then. And did you need to shout just now? In any case, I'm out for the day. Alright, careful out there. All booze and no firecrackers makes Dana a dull girl. You can't tell Leo that I told you to Google throat fucking like you're an innocent child who needs to be protected, and then tell me that you only like one kind of protrusion. You've been talking a lot with that Alma girl. Jealous. Oh, you bet, darling. Oh, you bet. I didn't tell you to look up literal porn. I told you to Google what a sex act was, which is something that you should be doing as someone who plans on being sexually active at some point in the future. It is your choice if you choose to look up videographic evidence of it. I did not tell you to look up porn at all. I told you to Google throat fucking. There's a distinct difference. I was explaining why she needed a second tongue. Because when you take someone by their goddamn hair and pump them against, you know, your protrusion, you're kind of gonna fuck up their mouth a little bit. Also, the stream is technically 18 plus, so fuck you. So it doesn't you Gillian Applegate as official guy who goes to buy the rest of the stuff. Applegate? Well, I mean, I could send Jill, but I wouldn't dare send a lady by herself. And I could go with her, but I believe the bar should have at least 2 people in the vicinity at all times. You're not gonna say anything, Jill. If it means not being delivery girl, I'm happy to fake helplessness. Fine, give me the list. I'll be back sometime. Something tells me you're planning something, boss. What gives you that impression? Call it a gut feeling. Did you know Gil has a crush? A client of his, a girl that owns the bazaar. She's been coming on to him for ages, and he's only just started opening up. But he started taking steps backwards, and I'm not gonna let him. He's opening up, for fuck's sake. And so the errands will take him to the bazaar, I take it. That's right. Alright then. To the office I go. As for me... Go with a crush. Oh, if it isn't... Hey, Jill, sorry, is there anywhere I can hide? There's an unpleasant guy on my trail. Boss, stalked woman incoming. The door's open. Go ahead, the door to the left. Thank you. Hello there. The other one, that's the bathroom. What's the dog doing in the bathroom? Oh, the hellhole, perfect. Hey, kid, I'll have the usual. Huh, he remembered me after 2 weeks. This seems right. The paper's been a mess lately. You'd think with all that's happening, they'd stay and do more reports. But they're all asking for vacations, and I can't afford to be understaffed. So I had to come up with some sort of reward for whoever produces the most reports. I see no difference in my feed, though. Mr. Donovan, I don't mean to sound rude, but... You do know the infamy of the augmented eye of the general public, right? The shitty page will over-sensationalize anything and report useless things. Of course I know. And when I try to rectify that image, to put it simply, I'm being clutched by the balls in a non-pleasant way. Zabatsu Corp and Company have an eye on every publication they haven't bought yet. Report on them once and they find something to fine you with. twice and you'll find your resources severely cut. Anything beyond that, in the best case scenario, is they buy the whole damn operation and keep it quiet. I know there are more newsworthy things than whatever the lackeys picked out that week. But if I overstep, my ass is on the line. But to see this hellhole still in one piece. The BTC has been going apeshit closing bars lately. Yesterday they closed one that served as a key part of the drug trafficking ring. Not to mention, there are like 100 people who have BTC certificates but never use them. Instead, they keep those credentials around to stop police from raiding their homes or warehouses. I don't know about you, but it's obvious to me that some restructuring will begin at the BTC after this whole thing. Man, shit ran deeper than I thought. And a news outlet talks about that. Alright, kid, let's try Moonblast now. Hey, even I have to break the routine from time to time. On the rocks and blended. Let's give that man a Moonblast. Here you go, Mr. Donovan. Now let's see what the ruckus is about. So what brought you here? Oh right, didn't you see a Lilum coming in here? Blue hair, big tits. She's the one from the Encore concert coming up. Not really. Did she jump to the roof then? Why were you looking for her? Did you want an interview? Not really, just hitting on her. Yeah, I said hitting on her, not hitting her. Stop glaring. Why though? Are you that bored? Don't you have like a family or something? Have you seen that girl? Hot as tits. Also hot ass and tits. I'm suffering the weirdest combo of being hard as fucking curious as shit right now. I want to know just how detailed this King Class Chee models are, personally. So you followed her. I've yet to meet a woman that can resist the charms of Donovan D. Dawson. You're in front of one, and I'm guessing you have quite the selective memory. Like I said, don't you have a family or something? A wife, but that woman cheats on me as much as I cheat on her. In fact, I'm pretty convinced she gets off from the thought of me cheating on her. So that Lilum isn't here, huh? I'll have to find a bus and have replacement tonight or I'll explode. After you're done glaring, please serve me a pile driver. Let's just give that man a literal pile driver. What? Well, seeing as she's not here, I have no reason to stay. Maybe I'll find someone who looks a bit like her. The guy left. Oh, alright. Thanks for sheltering me, Dana. Hope your sister likes the video. Your boss is such a fun person. Her sister is a fan of mine, so I recorded a couple of small videos for her and took a couple of photos. How nice of you. Nothing really. She did hide me, so it's the least I could do. Well, we're here already. Mind giving me something sweet? Miss Idol wants something sweet. Hey, X-Man, are you still in here? I forget, I was drunk for like an entire week when we first started talking, because I am a terrible person with no self-control. I really don't recommend being like me. But did you ever add me on Steam? Because I really want to check what we have in common co-op. It's pretty obvious what my Steam name is, so it's not like it's hard to find me. Those questions were a bit over the line last time too. Not the worst I've dealt with, but I just didn't want to humor him. I see. Okay, I'm just checking, buddy. Thank you. I'm gonna check that after this. Seems he was just trying to come on to you. You don't say. Well, not like you'd have a chance anyway. I'm not into older guys and I'm already committed. Wait, you are? That's not common knowledge and the ones I hear try to dismiss it as rumors, but I've been in a relationship with that producer for a while now. We were both single and that kind of stuff is bound to happen when you spend so much time together. But it all started when he read an entry I made in my blog about wanting to experience love and the like. When he offered to help with that after he read it, and I thought, sure, why not? I already knew him well enough, it wouldn't hurt to try. How nice. He's a stick in the mud where planning is due, but he's a sweetheart otherwise. You know, I've met 2 fans of yours lately. Both of them seemed so excited when they talked about you. It was amazing. I don't like the term fan too much. It strikes me as a bit pretentious. Many people who like my music sounds better. Fan evokes an uglier and more pretentious image for me. Do you like what I do, Jill? Do you like my music? To be honest, I haven't had much exposure to your work, but the few things I've heard are really good. And I'm not gonna lie, having talked to you, I feel like I would support you even if I didn't like it. So nice to hear. Hey, this will sound familiar, but do you have anything like tea? I gave that bitch a sunshine cloud. Bitches love sunshine clouds. Hey, you're a king class Chee, right? That I am. May I ask you something about your model? Are there any differences between you and a DFC-72? You both serve the same purpose, but DFC-72s have the port on their head, which makes them more versatile. My line lacks out of the resilience of the DT-01Ds, but we're a tad more polished elsewhere. More specifically, our voice emulators are more advanced and our movements are smoother. A trade-off of functionality and power for appearance, you could say. So anything new for this concert? Well, it is an encore, so we're trying to make it the same for this. We couldn't go to the first one. But we always try to spice it up, maybe with a surprise song or something. There was this one time I sang a cover of a song by B-Link. Of course, in return, they sang Your Love Is a Drug. So you know the B-Link girls? Really nice kids. You'd be surprised how different from their onstage personas they are. Susie, for example, can be really childish at times. She also laughs a lot and loudly. Meanwhile, Aina is a party girl. Aina is a party girl through and through. If they're not on tour, she spends her time partying like crazy. Hard to believe. I mean, their image is that of stoic girls with little expressions. Almost like living Victorian dolls. Well, they wanted to pop out to the public. They once told me if we want people to notice us, we have to break the cutesy idol concept. So they took the opposite route by becoming cool beauties with melancholic songs. I wouldn't say they went the opposite way. The opposite of cutesy idols would be unkempt, tone-deaf girls spewing vitriol and hate. Well, I've got to go, but let's have a sparkle star first. Sparkle star from Miss Kira Mickey. Sparkling! Well, it's always a pleasure. Please come again. Oh, the handsome bartender. Nice to see you. Boss Gil's back. I'll take my break. We'll be finishing the day out, and then I will either be swapping games or taking a break. Don't know. It is now safe to keep playing. Note to self, buy oil for that door. Gil, you're my spot, please. Oh, sorry. Also, you're cleaning one of Boss's chicken buckets. Did Boss ask you to do that? If I told you she did, would you believe me? Without a doubt. Let's go with that, then. Greetings. Ah, Stella, what can I get you? I'll go with a Bleeding Jane today. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bang, motherfucker! Oh yeah, it is very cool. Holy shit, look at how cool that fan looks spinning at the top. That's so chill. It's just smooth animation, I dig it. I brought you today, waiting for Say. Came by myself, actually. I was in the area and stopped by to say hi. It's pretty interesting, though. When I first saw you, I doubt you'd ever come here again. Well, this place is comfortable, I must admit. So quiet and secluded. It's also clean, very clean. Gil is the one you can own that to. The guy takes pride in how clean he keeps things around here. If you ever need cleaning staff, he's a nice pick. Really? He's a bit out of it today, though. Hey, Jill, have you heard of the new gold rush in the city? Everyone is paying small fortunes to get their hands on pieces of white knight suits. I think I heard or read something about that, but I'm having doubts, so probably not. In any case, how is it a gold rush? Well, the tech behind the suits were always safely guarded, but after the events at the bank... after the events at the bank, the suits were remotely shut down, bricking many of them in the process. Many units dropped their armor right there and fled when the lynchings went on. Any white knights still stuck in their suit had to take the armor off manually to run away. It all happened in the middle of lynching, so they'd be sitting ducks if they didn't. Some weren't that lucky. They got beaten up while they weren't able to move. So between the suits becoming glorified paperweights and many white knights going on the run, there ended up being a lot of junk lying around. Well, the whole scientific community is rejoicing. They're on a race to reverse engineer the suits and take as much technology as possible from them. And of course, even single pieces of the armor fetch a high price these days. Could anyone see any profit from that research to justify those expenses? It's new tech, a whole new field ripe with patents just open for many, so I would say yes. I mean, the BTC is literally a conglomerate built upon patents and trademarks. I can see how. There was one weird case, though. There's this guy named Jack. He's the captain of a very unique Blitzkrieg Corp unit. Core, not Corp. The guy had a really small unit, 5 people including himself. The aesthetics of his unit's armor was heavily modded to the point where they looked like a squad of henshin heroes. They looked really gaudy. But it turned out that the guy actually broke through the software and disabled the remote switch. He has one of the few, if not the only, suits of armor with the OS intact. To say they're among the most wanted people would be an understatement. You know a lot about this. It also helps to put on a front that makes people lower their guard. That should sound familiar to you. Here's a freebie, a fun fact. The failsafe was originally going to involve the armor blowing up and leaving no traces. The regulations and laws didn't allow that kind of technology near civilians. I guess even Zaibatsu Corp has Corp. I always mix those 2 words up, fucking shit. They're far from innocent. But they're not just evil overlords, they're only greedy, so they're just a big corporation. They just so happen to have control over what tantamount to a city-state. Corporations will naturally resort to draconian methods. I've heard horror stories from people outside the city about trying to use product placement. Holy shit. I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine. If you someone just hold a bottle the wrong way or get in the way of a logo, you'll be in for lots of trouble. Let's not start with theme parks or the like. Those are dystopias of their own. Then again, most of the demonization, he has no powers anyway. He's just the far that whatever cancel behind Zaibatsu Corp chose. He makes a fool of himself and the attention is taken away from whatever it is that Zaibatsu Corp is actually doing. So what you were saying is that Glitch City is basically a huge theme park? I've called the White Knights glorified mall security in the past, so yeah. No, seriously, hen, what? Can I get a Brantini here, please? So I take it you're in a good mood today? Is it show? A bit. Yeah, well, I managed to nab a couple of tickets for the Kira Mickey Encore concert. Oh right, as it turns out she was just here. Again? Sorry, again? Can't believe I just missed her. I was surprised too. I was more surprised she remembered my name though. And like last time, she was quite the graceful client. Man, so those rumors about her being really nice in person were actually true? Amazing. I mean, you always want the famous people to be nice in real life, but having such backing to that claim to hear she's so nice to everyone, it's nice to hear, you know? In fact, many think that's what made her famous so quickly. How she's down to earth and totally accessible, making her someone everyone wants to root for. Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't want to feel like you're supporting crappy people. Although to be honest, I've never put that much thought into that one. Half the time I have no idea who made what I use, nor do I care much. Being a nice person will take you far, though. My daddy always insisted that being ruthless in the boardroom doesn't mean being an ass. And he has actually managed to get certain contracts over other more powerful people. All thanks to being a nice guy overall. But more importantly, Daddy, you really believe me saying she was just here that easily? You're not the kind to lie about stuff like that, so sure. Dorothy is the best. You're not the kind to lie about that stuff. She'll put a smile on everyone's face, yeah. That said, can you go to the concert so easily? What about security and the like? My dad always has a unit keeping an eye on me from a distance. Different hairdo and a cap. I wonder if I can get in the disabled line with Say on her wounds. She'll probably nag me about it if she doesn't need it, and we shouldn't abuse that. Hey, can you get me a classic drink? Thank you. Do you have many servants around your house, Stella? I do, but they've been with us for so long they're pretty much family. My dad always said that if you earn someone's trust, they'll gleefully work for you and everyone wins. We even had a young gardener that left to study engineering, and he actually came back. He still comes by every weekend to tend the plants. Let me know if you're ever in need of a job. I might find you something. I just realized something's off with the whole tech gold rush story. Wouldn't all the tech be patented anyways? I get trying to crack it in the first place, but that'll be true if the tech was patented in the first place. The bots who have been so paranoid about making the White Knights untouchable that they never patented anything. A patent would be in the database that someone could hack and retrieve valuable info from. Not to mention they've been using tech from other companies without any authorization. And no patent registry in their right mind would approve that global shutdown signal. Let alone how it immobilized everyone still inside one of those suits. So the ones that were upholding the law did so using suits that are by all means illegal. The irony runs deep, wouldn't you say? When you have so much money, you start thinking you can screw around with rules. All that power makes you think you're above every law there is. And the city is what happens when those with money start making the rules. I'm curious though, have you ever covered up any fuck-ups by using money? I think we've all done things we're not too proud of at some point in our lives. Well, Jill, I gotta go. Always a pleasure. Alma. No hello. You're pretty insistent on that one, aren't you? It's basic courtesy, something I will fight to uphold. First a greeting stop, then saying please and thanks stop, and before you know it, boom, total anarchy. Fucking bastard ant crawling all over my microphone. I'm gonna kill you if I see you again, you little cunt. You're exaggerating. In fact, we'll go through that door again and I expect you to properly greet me this time. Hello, Jill. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary. Once over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, and tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. You overdid it. You totally overdid it, quoth the bartender. I did not. So you like poetry? Dude, she's quoting Poe. There was nothing that could be more overdramatic. Can I get you something? Let's start with a big cobalt velvet. A big cobalt velvet for Alma. On the rocks and mixed. Thank you. Oh yeah, there's something I've been wondering about for a while. Does the name Shadowmaster 69's Chronicles ring any bell? Wow, you went pale. No, the name doesn't ring any bells. May 22nd, today my daily card readings told me I'd meet great change thanks to an old man. My biology teacher told me I'd been picked for an inter-school contest for the latest essay. I just knew a scientific theory on the idea of ours was as revolutionary as I thought. Soon I'll bring the world into a quote science singularity. Later entries don't seem to have gone that well though. Much of being laughed at, being lectured on why the essay was wrong. You would not be able to finish it because you wouldn't be able to pay rent because you would get docked for every mistake by people who didn't like you already. And a lot of these people don't know you until you made them a few drinks, and they don't come back if you don't make them the correct drinks. Because, you know, this is your fucking job, so it's not possible. I made sure to delete that blog. No evidence should be left. I can think of at least 6 different sources off the top of my head that all have that stuff archived. Jeez, relax, it's not that bad. What do you mean it's not that bad? Don't you realize how embarrassing it all is? We've all been young, Jill. Relax. It's not like you're still like that nowadays. That would have been embarrassing. God, no, I gave up on the whole occult stuff. Just remembering all that stuff is... I don't know, I like the way you looked. All dressed in black with a rare accessory popping out thanks to the colors. I mean, at least you had the decency to use makeup and take care of yourself. So you have a pick. Oh god, you have a fucking pick. Why do you do this to me? Why do you dig out the sins of my past? I was bored. Last Friday I had to take my mind off the whole Diana thing, so I ran a small background check on you. Simple stuff, just checking past internet activity. Please don't run background checks like that. Just use a search engine, you know. I didn't request documents or anything. What led you to the page? You do realize your main mail account everywhere is still the one you used back then, right? Like I said, relax. You were obsessed with occultism. I wanted to kiss all the boys, and I kinda almost accomplished that in middle school, which still sort of haunts me today. Never underestimate the lengths old classmates will go to track you down. Especially when they think you're still the girl that kissed them for fun and they're lonely to boot. We all have things we're not too proud of as adults. Now I know how criminals feel when evidence is used against them. I have to ask though, why the 69? It was supposed to be 6'9", not 69, like in reference to both the Lovers and the Hermit. I was convinced it meant wise choices. Joe, there's nobody that would read that as 6'9". I was 12 at the time. Even at 12, I knew what a 69 was. Just how innocent were you back then? Let's sweeten things up a bit. I'll have a sugar rush. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, Alma, speaking of the past, what was your last long-term relationship like? That's sudden. You dug through my past, I've earned the right to dig through yours. Fine, fine. Long-lasting relationships, huh? Romantic ones, I'm guessing. Well, I've had about 4 boyfriends who I describe as such, that I introduced to my family and all. The first one was in high school. I broke up with him because he cheated on me. I remember the other girl trying to pick a fight and me just saying, keep the fucker. The second one was during my freshman year. I broke up with him after he thought it'd be funny to punch me in the arm. He starts with a friendly hit, and before you know it, anyways. The other guy I met shortly after I dropped out. He was interested in marriage, but he only wanted to get married after half a year or something of knowing him. Then there's Richard. I spent almost 4 years with him. We got along pretty well. We had awesome chemistry. I truly loved him. But as time went by, there was a rift that started separating us. He just didn't like my family. Moreover, he wasn't a family person. He distanced himself from his own and voiced that he didn't want kids. There was a part of him that wanted to believe, even just for a little bit, that maybe he'd change his mind. But as much as I loved him, that one detail brought a growing gap between us, and at one point I just had to break up with him. But I'm not here to depress you. Give me a beer, would you? Yeah, I am getting her super drunk. I want to die. Don't you want to die too? I think most people kind of want to die, but are too afraid of what's on the other side. I grow less afraid of what's on the other side as I get older. I'd recommend not killing yourself while you're young so you can see if this passes, because it does pass for some people. But fuck. Thanks for telling me that, by the way. Don't mention it. Okay, one more question and we're even. Well, you really are embarrassed of that blog, huh? Sure, ask away. At what age did you get those implants in your boobs? Dude, I love you and I know you're saying that in jest, but I've lived through so many rumors about me getting plastic surgery that I can't and won't take it as a joke. As such, in honoring our friendship, I'll just say this. They're real and they're spectacular. Now that's the real question before I slap you. I'll grant you one and only one chance to call me by my full name as a compensation then. It's funny that you mentioned slapping, because my real question was, why did you get your hands chopped? Chopped. Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first is that I spend lots of time typing, and these replacements help me avoid carpal tunnel. There's other utilities, like how I interface with many devices. For example, there's a tiny computer embedded in my glasses. If I move my index finger, it acts as my cursor. There's lots more, but they're small things that don't sound that impressive when I say them out loud. How did your family take the operation? They took it well enough, except for my mom. She freaked out for months. She went to the hospital to ask for my hands. Don't you miss them? Sometimes, but just during emotional moments. But as luck would have it, someone else has them. Shortly before my operation, there was an accident on the highway. One of the victims was this young lady whose right hand got completely crushed. I told them to check if we were compatible and all that. I mean, implants are not everyone's first choice, so they can get a natural replacement. A bit of cosmetic treatment and they could pass off his original hand with no problem. That's how I heard we were compatible and the family agreed to the donation. I don't know what became of her, but I hope she's fine. You didn't tell your mom about that? I didn't want her pestering the poor girl. So are we cool now? Are we even? Are we? You were pretty pissed about my comment regarding your boobs. Again, I'm sorry. I sounded a lot less rude in my head. Yeah, don't worry about that. Besides, I get to call you Julianne once. No, you don't. You just call me by my full name. Are you serious? One chance and only one chance, and you used it up. Surprise! Hey, Alma. This might be a weird tangent, but do you believe in ghosts? Not particularly, no. Although there was this paper I read once that was quite interesting. Propose a scenario in which nanomachine clusters would leave the body after death. The result would basically be an image not unlike a hologram. Of course, the hypothesis fell through because such nanomachine density is impossible in a body. Even 5% of the amount needed would be enough to make the blood too dense for the heart. But it's not like brainwaves are potent enough to create those reactions. Still an interesting read, though. Look at me that look. It's not my fault you convince yourself that you're crazy. Well, leave then. I'll see you tomorrow. For some reason, the idol girl left him like that, it seems. You think? Might have been while he was out. Hey boss, you're a fan of wrestling, aren't you? I mean, you were a wrestler, so... But I am. Why? I was wondering, isn't wrestling fake? Aren't twin tails for little girls and teens with 8th grade syndrome? When you get down to it, wrestling is as real as a soap opera. I mean, you don't really expect a legal lawsuit to be fixed in a ring, right? Sure, in my ideal world, you would solve legal problems through good old wrestling, but... 8th grade what? But you don't go around calling soap operas fake. It's a show. It just so happens to use fights as an expression. Might as well see it as a unique form of theater. Yeah, that's kind of what she does. It happens every time she shows up. Besides considering all the injuries many wrestlers suffer, it's not all fake. I didn't think about it that way. Sadly, I won't stand for anyone bad-mouthing wrestling, so I have to go and break Gil's back to make you humble. Whoa, wait, what? Come here, fuckboy! Fuckboy! Who'd have thought we get a bona fide idol in the bar? I made my money! We have a roof over our heads for another month more? Yay! Alright, so what time is it right now? It is 3:45 p.m. I am going to be taking a 15 to 30 minute break, and then I'll be playing something else. X-Men. Feel free to look through my Steam account and see if we have anything in common that you like. Because I like Overwatch, but I get burnt out on trying to push myself really hard all the time. So yeah, catch you later.